What's up, dudes? Okay, so I've been making a lot of pixel art stuff lately, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys how I design pixel art in Photoshop. So to be completely honest, I had a much more detailed, bigger, cooler T-Rex that I designed and had all recorded, ready to go, but I pulled a JP and forgot to save it. I'm going to use this much simpler design, but I think it'll actually be better for you guys because we'll be able to design it start to finish all together, and you can see how it's the same process just on a smaller, quicker scale. So before we start drawing, I want to talk about a couple things that I think are really cool about pixel art. One is you don't need anything too fancy, just a computer and Photoshop, or there's a bunch of other programs that are specifically for making pixel art. The other thing is, I think doing pixel art is great for beginners because you don't have to be great at drawing, and what making pixel art really teaches you is how to simplify things, which is one of the most important things about learning to draw. So because of the limitations of making pixel art, it really forces you to simplify and make things super clear. Also, if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to copy things. Pull up an old sprite of Mario or Mega Man, or actually both, and see and copy just how many pixels they use in each thing, and see the differences, figure out how they simplify things and what sort of style of pixel art you like to make the best. Just be sure that if you do copy something, you're not posting it somewhere and claiming it as your own. Okay, all that being said, let's jump in and make this little dinosaur dude. Alright, so before you start drawing anything, you have to think about what size your final file is going to be. So in this case, I'm going to use just a typical Instagram size image. So we go File, New, and we're going to Instagram always wants you to post at 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels, and for the resolution we're just going to do 72 dpi. Okay, so you can see here we have a pretty big document size. So this isn't going to work because this is over 1,000 pixels wide. So if we draw one pixel, you can barely even see it. You have to zoom way in just to see one little pixel there. So what we're going to do is, we know this is going to be our finished file size, but we're going to shrink it way down, go image size, and then up here you have the pixels we're going to do, but for this we're doing a pretty small little dude, so I'm going to do 25 pixels wide. So you can see that this shrunk way down. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new layer over here, which is just this little bloop, or you can go layer, new layer. And the next thing you need to do is, right now I have all my tools set up the way they need to be, but you want to make sure you're working with the pencil tool. So if you just start up Photoshop, it's going to be set on the brush tool. You're going to want to click and hold down and get the pencil tool. And then up here, you can select one of these round brushes. I have a bunch of different brushes here, but you can select just a really solid round brush, and it'll probably be at like 30 pixels or something. And you just want to move it down to be 1 pixel. So then you can see if you make a dot, it's just your brush is 1 pixel wide. You can make it bigger if you need to, but just one pixel wide. Now you want to do the same thing for your eraser as well. So select your eraser, and you want to change the mode from brush to pencil, and do the same thing. Select a nice hard round brush, and then put the size down to 1 pixel. So if you have your little groups of pixels that you have drawn, you can select your eraser and erase. Same thing, you can make it bigger, make it smaller, all that. Okay, so now we're pretty much ready to draw. So I'm gonna redraw this here dinosaur and take you guys through it. So I'm going to go through this kind of fast, but what I'm doing, and if you want to copy along, you totally can, is I just have the old the already done thing pulled off to the side here. So I'm just looking at what I'm drawing and copying over. So I'm just clicking around, holding the mouse down. This doesn't look quite right. So here I'm just going to use the selection tool, the lasso tool, and move this. Does it just go over one? That looks more right. Erase. And I think that is the line art for our dinosaur. Okay, so the cool thing about pixel art is for color, you don't really need to do a bunch of separate layers. So you can, because everything is really sharp edges, it's very easy to select. So you can see here I'm using the magic wand tool and I have contiguous turned on, and I'm just going to click inside and select and then fill, which is just edit fill, and you want to do foreground color, or you can just hit Alt or Option backspace to do that. I'm just selecting new colors with the eyedropper tool. Clicking around. Easy. This should go over here. And there we go. We have a finished dinosaur. Really quick, real easy. You can do this, you know, look up Google, you know, you can just Google sprites and find different things and kind of copy them the same way. Just count how many pixels across and everything. So a couple of quick little tricks here. I'm gonna go ahead and hide Mr. T-Rex and show you guys. While you're drawing, let's say you want to draw a really long straight horizontal line. If you click and then hold down Shift, you can drag your line, and you can see, I click, hold Shift, you can see that it just makes it a straight horizontal line. Same thing with a vertical line. You know, you just have to start dragging down or up instead of sideways. Or if you want to make a straight diagonal line or something, if you click and then let go, and then hold Shift down and click again, it'll make a straight line in between those 2 points. So instead of, you know, drawing a really long line by click, 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 you know, you make mistakes and stuff. If you just click, click, and then hold down Shift, click again, you'll get a straight line. And, you know, if you need to adjust it, you can use that lasso tool or the what is this one called? Rectangular marquee tool. You know, either of those to select, and then your move tool to move it. Those are just two little things, make drawing faster. So now we have our finished dinosaur, and I'm just using the arrow keys to move him around. And we want to go back to right now this is such a tiny little document size. We want to go back to being able to post this thing on Instagram. So we're gonna go image size, and we don't want to be 25 pixels wide. We want to be that 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. Now, if we just click OK here, you're gonna see this thing gets all blurry and ugly because Photoshop is resizing it and making it's like the computer is making up what it thinks it should be resized that big. So we're gonna undo that. Now he's back to being little. We're gonna go image size, and this is the trick to all pixel art in Photoshop right here. So we're gonna type in 1080 pixels, and down here, so it says resample image, and you have this drop down. It's gonna be set at bicubic automatic as default, and that's what you want to keep it at if you're like resizing, shrinking things down, like a photo down and stuff like that. You want to keep it at bicubic automatic. But for pixel art, you always want to be set on nearest neighbor, preserve hard edges. So we click OK. Now we have this huge file with super hard pixel edges, and you can see, like, if we now this is what the size of a normal pixel that we were drawing at before looks like. But since we resized, we got him all fixed up. Now let's say you want to resize this, but you just you want to like maybe shrink him down a little bit. So if you do edit, transform, scale, you can see up here this interpolation. Usually this would be set at the bicubic automatic. You want to switch it to nearest neighbor, and then you can shrink him down, and he'll stay in those nice pixel sizes. Oh, the other thing is I'm holding shift when I shrink him down, and that makes sure that his proportions stay the same. So you can shrink him and move him like this, but then your pixel squares aren't actually going to be squares, they're going to be rectangles. So you want to always hold down shift when you're resizing things. Alright, so that does it. You're ready to flatten your image, save it, and post it on Instagram or wherever else. If you want to make a t-shirt, you want to, make an art print, do whatever. Yeah, that's it. This is a really quick little pixel drawing. I really encourage you guys, look at video games, look at all kinds of other pixel art, kind of find the styles that you like. This is actually an icon we used for the Pancake Attack website. If you go, I'll link it in the description below. It's a new clothing company I started with my friends. But yeah, this icon is somewhere on the site, so you guys can go find that. Okay guys, let me know if you have any questions, if I went over anything too quickly here. I know it's a little confusing and stuff, especially if Photoshop is a new program to you. I'll be happy to answer any questions, explain anything that I left out. Just leave a question in the comments below, and I'll definitely answer it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have great holidays and awesome productive weeks, and I'll catch you later.